After that last game, I have to think that Sparta showcased some great TVP there. I mean, he was solid across the board, just great macro, solid decision making, held that all in very well. And, well, in a sense, I guess it wasn't an all in because we did see him try and transition out of that, but it didn't work very well for him.
Yeah, and you've got a question here what Dream Team Gaming here is doing by sending up another Protoss player, because their first Protoss player didn't really work out too well. It seems like Sparta was able to take him out with a pretty concise and well played out build. Honestly, it was more of the first player, Sickness, coming up and trying a one base all in and not really succeeding, and then kind of trying to stumble and fumble away and get back into the game. Maybe Nalza can redeem the Protoss here for Dream Team Gaming.
Yeah, maybe he can try and play a style that's more macro-oriented, not try an all-in. And on this map, on Daybreak, I mean, it's a great map to play a macro style, I feel. It's a wide-open map, a lot of distance between the two.
Yeah, absolutely. Daybreak is one of the maps that was introduced in the GSL. And you know what, Pain User? One of the games that really comes to mind is OGS. And I don't know if it wasn't OGS, it was MVP versus Top, OGS Top, and one of the most epic Terran versus Terran mirrors of all time. And this map really seems to lend itself into not only 2-base versus 2-base aggression, but also super late macro StarCraft 2 matches.
Yeah, it's really easy to split the map in half. There's only 3 attack paths on this map, and the 2 Zelnagas give you pretty good coverage of the entire mid area, so it's pretty easy to split this map in half, take control of the central regions on this map, and then kind of hunker down, go into 3-base. There's also not a lot of distance around the mains, so you can kind of turret wall the side of your main that's exposed, giving you protection from drops, and certainly giving you an early warning system for drops. So yeah, it's just a very straightforward map that yields itself to long macro games because it's just really easy to defend and split the map in half.
Yeah, I totally agree with you. We'll have to see if Sparta goes with that theory of Terran play that you just described, where he's going to play that turtle style, get a bunch of turrets up, play a nice macro game. Honestly, guys, from a caster standpoint, I just haven't seen that many games of Nalza, nor have I seen games that many of Sparta, so I can't really predict or say what these two guys are going to do. We'll just have to see as the game unfolds. The probe just did go down inside the main, though, as Sparta is, he's going for 1 Rax expand.
Yeah, dropping a low ground CC, actually. So just going straight for the 1 Rax CC and probably going to follow that up with more Raxes. And it's a solid, straightforward build from Sparta. No surprises there. It's very similar to the build we saw from him last game. So,
and what kind of risks do you think that are posed here from a Terran player who decides to throw down that command center on the low ground rather than putting it up on the main?
Well, I mean, there's the off chance you could get caught, maybe by a proxy or something like that. But other than that, I really don't see that many downsides to it. It's just more risky to hold a possible 4 gate or something like that. That's really the only way I could see you getting in trouble there. Now, it looks like Nalza is going to go ahead and drop a Nexus here, and he's going to expand out of this 1 gate. Does he have a second gateway on the way just yet, or is he still just working off 1? No, just working off of 1 right now.
Interesting. Both these players seeming to go here for very greedy builds, greedy expands, but the benefit here of being a Terran player is you can build that bunker up without having to invest in a preliminary tech facility, such as if a Protoss wanted to get defenses up, they would have to throw the Forge down first, and usually that's why you're not going to see a Protoss player defend their early Nexus with a Forge. Rather than they're going to get a bunch of gateway units.
Yeah, very true. And here come gateways number 2 and 3 for Nalza, so he's going to go ahead and transition out of this and add additional gateways. Will we see a Robo pretty soon? I would imagine so, or a Twilight. He's probably going to break off in one of those 2 directions.
Yeah, and there's really 2 ways that robotics facility going down. There's really 2 ways Protoss can play in Protoss versus Terran, because there's 2 branches they can really work with, and we're probably going to see Nalza go with the more conventional Colossus style, since he's got the Robo Bay down already. We might see some special tactics in play here, because we saw his teammate Sickness last game go for the Warp Prism, but of course this time Nalza has grabbed the expansion first, so it wouldn't be some kind of a necessarily all-in play.
Well, the thing that's interesting is that a lot of Protoss players recently have actually been going after both tech trees. They've been teching down Twilight and Robotics at the same time. Sometimes people will even just get the Robo just to get a few observers out, and they don't actually go to Colossus. They just switch immediately over and add additional gateways and stay on gateway tech for a long time. Using a Guardian Shield.
That doesn't seem like the most efficient way to kill off the scouting SCV.
I'm not really sure what that was for.
It actually doesn't even protect you from the SCV's drill because the drill is considered a melee attack.
And he's actually not going to cut the SCV off either. I think it's going to make its way out here.
That's really funny. Well, these transferring probes might end up blocking that SCV. Or no, those two sentries on the outside will get the kill. But wow, you know, Painizer, that SCV was alive for an extended amount of time. He got a
great scout in. Absolutely. He knows exactly what Nalza is up to. And it looks like he might be confident for a little bit of pressure here. No, he's going to pull back. Just wants to play it safe. He doesn't quite have medevacs yet. He will have those soon, though. And this is a very quick tech to medevacs, actually. He's just going with a 3 racks and adding his add-ons much earlier this game.
Yeah, and the ability to have those earlier medevacs obviously is going to allow you to stim more liberally, but we're probably going to see Sparta get very aggressive with the drops. He's going to probably try to go around the main and the natural, and this is a great map to drop in the main as well. Look at all this area that you're going to have access to from into the mineral patch and even into the side of the main. You can even load up reinforcements, heal them here, and then bring them back into battle as well. So let's see if those medevacs come into play as the two are about to finish.
And those 2 medevacs will be done in just a second here. There we go. The medevacs are out, and I think he'll seize this opportunity to apply a little bit of pressure here. Probably going to send those medevacs out to catch up with his Bioforce. And Combat Shield should be finishing right around the time he gets over to Nalza's side of the map. Nalza just now reinforcing a little bit at the ZeNEX here, sending a few additional troops, and it looks like he's just going to hold position there for a little bit and wait for the incoming troops that he has an observer over, so he knows exactly what's going on here. He could ambush him here.
Yeah, he actually had double vision going on with the observer and the ZeNEX tower, so really no threat of him getting ambushed there as he's going to fall back. But I see what you mean. Sparta could have been ambushed.
I thought he was going to ambush Sparta.
That's very possible, but it didn't go down that way because Nalza did pull back. Now those medevacs are coming in to help heal these units if necessary, but that observer is still there. So even though Sparta has his ZeNEX tower, the observer here really negates that both players have full vision over the center of the map.
To an extent. I mean, it's definitely nice for Sparta to have that vision, though. He has control over Nalza's ZeNEX. He knows when Nalza's going to be moving out. It still gives a great benefit to Sparta, just not as much as if he didn't have anything scouting him on the flip side. And is that a second observer there on the north end?
That is a second observer on the north end. So all avenues of attack here are scouted. And there's really no threat to Nalza as long as he doesn't get straight up overrun, which I don't think would happen. He's got quite a few sentries that have accumulated energy from the beginning of the game. And look at that firing squad he's got of 3 Immortals. Those Marauders are going to be mincemeat, and really all he's got to worry about is the stimmed up Marines following that.
Yeah, definitely. Now, let's take a look at both players' bases here and see what they're up to. Looks like Sparta is adding some additional Raxes here. He has a 3rd command center, actually, which is pretty important. He's going to be taking his 3rd earlier, and he's adding additional Raxes beyond that. So he's gone up to 5, 6, 7, 8 Raxes, it looks like.
Well, actually, it looks like Nalza already had the Nexus coming down. So Sparta's command center are going to be a little bit later, but they're about the same time, so it's not going to be too big of an issue for either side. Colossus gets supply blocked right there. He'll clear that up, hopefully, with a couple additional pylons. And I think he just killed his own unit there to clear up supply. That was really smart. I don't know what he killed, but he did kill off something to ensure that the Colossus would come out. And here we have Sparta also breaking down the rocks to open up more avenues of attacking in the middle of the map Daybreak.
I like that, and that's the one area that Nalza actually didn't have an observer, and Nalza's sending his forces towards the ZeNEX. Doesn't see those Bioforces, and he's going to lose a ton of Zealots right here.
That was a total trap sprung by Sparta, and really just a bit of a belligerent move by Nalza's Zealots.
Yeah, not really sure what he was going for there. Maybe trying to free up additional supply, but I doubt it with that many Zealots.
Yeah, I don't think so.
There's really no way.
That's kind of a reach right there, saying he's going to free up additional supplies.
He's just forced to give up his 3rd here uncontested. Not going to lose a single unit, just going to take that 3rd and back out. And Sparta scans into the natural and sees Nalza's army, and he can't be too intimidated by that right now.
No, Nalza's army's not too shabby. You'd like to see those zealots that originally died, but here comes that battle. Force field's coming down, cutting off the Marine Marauder army in half, and Nalza's not doing too shabby of a job here clearing this army
really
up.
not.
But the 3 Vikings coming in and reinforcements arriving as well, and Nalza has to pull back.
Oh, Nalza's taking such heavy damage here. This is just absolutely brutal for him. He lost his 3rd, and then he lost the 1st major engagement. I think that's really putting him in a situation that I don't want to say is unrecoverable, but he is certainly behind right now in a major way in this game.
And actually, for a second there, Pain User, I thought that Nalza had that battle won. And I think we both agreed there. But then the 3 Vikings and 5 or so Marauders arrived to save the day. And that really swung the tides in favor of Sparta, who now has control over the central tower, has that extra base. And he's actually researching Mobius Reactor too, so we're going to have Ghosts on the field. And that could be doom for Nalza, who is now under attack again. The Colossus falls down though, and it looks like Sparta is going to clean up this army pretty easily. Well, maybe Nalza will be able to hold on for a little longer.
But every loss he sustains here is so much more important than the losses Sparta sustains.
Yeah, absolutely.
Especially all those Colossus going down once again, and I think he might actually be able to clean up these Immortals too. They've both lost their shields, and they both go down. Oh, wow.
Yeah, and the reinforcements continuing to stream in for Sparta here, who's just manufacturing Marines. But hey, counterattack coming from Nalza's 2 Zealots here, which have killed off a combined 8 SCVs. Not too shabby for Nalza, doing what he can to disrupt the Terran economy, but the real focal point here is this battle at the front door, which is looking desperate, and he just lost a Templar.
Sparta is just bringing the hurt right now. He has all of his units rallied across the map, and he continues to pick off such high-value units. An Archon goes down right there, and that's after the subsequent losses of those Colossus. So every time Nalza tries to scrape together some high-value units, Sparta's right there to pick him off. I mean, he's just absolutely in his face. He continues to attack over and over again. He's not really massing up. He's just has his foot on the gas right now, and he's going full throttle, and he's trying to end this game. And I think he has enough medevacs now accumulated over the last several minutes here, and he has enough energy, I think, to just push this one home.
Yeah, I agree with you. I think Sparta is in a fantastic position right now. You can't really say anything bad about his game. He's defeated 2 Protosses in a row, assuming that he wins this game, of course. And here comes a full stim. Everything charging forward here, but the Zealots unable to get any kind of a surround. There is a feedback that went down on that solo medevac, but it really doesn't matter. The final Archon falls, and it's just a paltry Protoss army now against this devastating Bioball. And there is the GG from Nalza.
There we go. Sparta just dropping 2 of Dream Team Gaming's players immediately.